like Bumblebee in the fact that he's relatively small, weak, and overeager to prove himself to the rest of the Autobots. He's a passable spy thanks to his special arm, which is specifically designed for surveillance. He will often claim that there's no other like it. Unlike Bumblebee with his eagerness to please and his general excitability, he has a habit of imagining any little bit of vital information he stumbles across as a great revelation that will help change the course of the war. The rest of his Autobot team have heard him cry Turbofox one too many times, and thus treat any information he comes across with a good helping of doubt.
Episode, we're going to be taking a look at Scrounge and Cybrax, or Cybraxis. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name for this little guy. Anyway, Scrounge here is actually a pretty obscure Autobot character, only appearing in the first line of Generation 1 comic books. However, now that he's part of the Technobot team, hopefully IDW will be able to breathe some new life into this guy. I didn't really know too much about him until this review. He's actually kind of a sad character if you really think about it. As far as his toy goes, you can probably tell that he's just a remold and recolor of Cosmos, who's one of my favorite characters, and he shares a lot of the same traits as him. You got a nice ball joint right up here at the shoulder, which is really tight, a little bit of a looser ball joint right here at the elbow, some waist articulation, but it's really up here at his chest. Ball joint for the hip and ball joint for the knee. I guess you can count this hinge as a little bit of ankle articulation, but that's really part of the transformation. All of the joints are really tight on this guy too, so you could probably get him some good poses, and he's able to even hold the little weapon that he comes with, which we'll get into that later. I will also say that the mold of his head is really interesting. It's very Generation 1 accurate for this guy. However, it's just an interesting shape. It actually reminds me more of primitive robots that you'd see from the Generation 1 cartoon. But I do like the little fin right here, so it does kind of give me that feel of the Rocketeer, which, considering that it changes into a spaceship, is kind of funny. Now, the one downside I have for this guy is just the yellow plastic that he was made out of. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't feel like it's going to break over time. It's a lot of yellow. And a lot of that nice little detailing from Cosmos. You can see like the little paneling and plating right here. I hope it comes across on camera, or even this little weapon right here. All that stuff gets lost at a distance, and he just kind of looks like a yellow blur. The little bit of red that he does have is kind of nice, but it's so sparse that it just makes you want to have a little bit more coloring with this guy. I wish they would have updated his color scheme and didn't keep it so G1 accurate. It's kind of a odd thing to say, but yeah. As far as this little guy goes, I don't know too much about him either. I tried to look up some info on him online, so yeah, I don't really know too much about his backstory. You can see right here that he has some little articulation. His arms are able to go up and down, and he's just pretty much a little tiny spaceship robot with a little bit of red right there on his face. He has even less paint deco on him, and he's still made out of that yellow plastic, so yeah, he also suffers from the same problem of becoming a little yellow blurry mess at a distance. However, he does have a third mode, which he is able to turn into a gun. Right here, when you pop that little handle out, push the legs back, and there you go. Now, in this mode, I don't actually mind it so much because, well, as a weapon, you would kind of want or expect everything to be one solid mass. And he's able to fit into Scrounge's hand, or actually any Autobot's hand, for that matter, pretty easily. And when Scrounge is actually holding this little guy, it actually makes him look a little bit more impressive. Like, yeah, he's ready to really start taking names and shooting up Decepticons. There's not really much else to say about these guys in their robot mode, so let's go ahead and try to transform them into their vehicle modes. Alright, now transform Cybrax here is actually fairly simple. All you're going to do is move his little wings back like so, and there you go. He's now in his little space shuttle mode. Scrounge here is a little bit more complicated, but still relatively simple. If you have Cosmos, then you kind of know what to expect with this guy. First off, I'm going to push his head down like so. Just get it right into his chest. There you go. Move this little tail fin up, and we might as well rotate his hips all the way around so they're facing backwards. Next, I'm going to take his arms and fold them up on themselves to make sure this little peg steps into that little slot right there. And then I'm just going to rotate, didn't mean to do that, rotate his arms all the way around like so. Now, this little chunk right here will want to get caught on the chest if you're not too careful, so just keep rotating around until it actually moves kind of smoothly off to the side. Next up, I'm going to take his hips, rotate them forward, rotate his knees all the way around like so. We're going to take his ankles first and then lock these into place like this. Then we're going to want to just move his legs like this and slide them forward, and hopefully we can get, there's a little slot right there on either side that's supposed to fit right here on his legs, so just move them forward like so, and hopefully everything will lock into place like there we go. And there you go, he's now in his little sci-fi space shuttle mode. And looking at it like this, I still wish there's a little bit more Art Deco or coloring on this guy, especially right here on these little panels right here or in some of the little cracks. But the gold isn't so bad looking at it right now. It seemed to scream a little bit more of that 50s retro feel. Like you can think about how back in the in the 40s and 50s, the space shuttles were either solid gray or solid gold, if anything, or, well, most of them were in black and white movies, so who could tell. So, but bottom line is I don't really mind the yellow so much how it is right here. Now Cybrax here is also able to link up with scrounge right here, and you can see that the two forward guns on the scrounge are able to fit right here on the little back jets as well. I don't know if this is supposed to be so that he could actually help carry them or transport them, but I do know it's actually so that when you combine them with Computron on one of the guys' shoulders, it's that everything is one mass and it's not going to get lost. Another little cool feature that you could kind of add if you really wanted to is you could turn Cybrax here back into his gun mode. Let me try to get this right here. Probably should have brought that forward first. There we go. And I just put it right back into the thing. Alright, anyways, you could put him back into his gun mode, and there's a little hole right here. That's how he's actually, Scrounge is going to attach to Computron, but you can probably stick the little handle right in here, and there you go. He actually has a little bit of an extra gun barrel right there on the bottom of his ship. Like, and it also helps him stand a little bit more off the ground, too. Almost kind of acting like a landing gear. There's not really much else to say about these two guys. I mean, they're not bad figures, and I don't think that they're ever going to come out separately from the original Technobots. You're going to have to get them all in one. But he is a nice little addition to the whole Technobots team and Computron. Anyways, this has been a look at Scrounge and Cybrax. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.